I usually set the intention to receive what information I'm meant to talk about today. So all day, usually I get it first thing in the morning, and all day I'm like, I don't know. But I just feel like we have to talk about release. And we have to talk about release because we're leveling up in our lives. We're leveling up. When we level up, we can't take everything with us. Like that would be boring, right? If we take everything with us when we level up, we take the old beliefs, we take the old people, we take the old situations. Is it really leveling up? If we're taking all that old stuff, is it really leveling up? So today, because we're in a full moon energy and I'm hyped about a full moon, I'm a Cancer. I love me a full moon. I feel empowered during a full moon, and I'm going to help you feel empowered during a full moon. But today it's about truly releasing, truly getting in touch with yourself about like, what is it that's ready to go? What is it that has been calling my name to be released? And so I'm excited for this energy coming in for you because I do feel like this is the next level. We are about to go into retrograde, so this is a good reflection time. This is a good time to get really freaking clear about what you want. I don't think a lot of people are like, oh my god, retrograde, what the hell? Like, I don't think retrograde has to be like that. I don't. I don't feel like retrograde has to be this chaotic, crazy energy. I feel like retrograde can be awareness, reflection, and it's still created. Like retrograde is still a created energy. One of the things I love to know about retrograde is that it's happening so that if something goes chaotic or technology is being weird, that I can kind of laugh it off and be like, oh, retrograde. But one of the things that people get sucked into is the manifestation that it has to be bad. So what I'm encouraging you to do as we approach this manifestation phase of retrograde is decide what it's going to be for you. What is this retrograde going to be for you? Are you going to thrive in it? Are you going to feel really strong and good? Are you going to feel really clear? Is this going to help you launch forward? Because I think that retrograde is a huge launching point, and I want you to use it as such. I don't want you to get sucked into, oh, it has to be bad. Have awareness that if shit hits the fan, you don't need to take it personally. That's my favorite part of retrograde. One time I was on the way to teach a class. If you know me, upstate New York and Clarity, I was on the way to teach a class, and my car just died. Like I pulled over because I was taking a phone call, and I must not have turned my headlights off, and my car absolutely died. I did not make it to that class that night. And I could have gotten super freaking worked up about the fact that I did not make it to that class, but instead it was like, okay, I was so burnt out. I was taking so many clients on. I was like, okay, this is the universe asking me to take a break. Because when you can have awareness that, okay, these astrological events are occurring, and again, not take them personally or not decide they have to be bad, that's your power in retrograde. So I'm setting the intention that you guys sail through retrograde smoothly, fully, and that it's perfect for you because that's your power. So we've got this full moon in Pisces, which I think is kind of magical. Like there's this magical quality happening with this full moon. I'm not an astrologer, so I will say that I'm not an astrologer, but the energy of this new moon is clearing and clarity and enchantment. Like it's this magic energy that's like if you're intentional about manifesting right now, I think you'll have really vivid visions of it. I think you'll really be able to see it clearly. But that's the thing is I would make sure you're really intentional about manifesting right now because your intentions will be vivid. Your intentions and energy will supersede what you're used to, will project further, will be clearer. So we're going to use that to our advantage. And like I said, to go into a new version, you have to release the old. For me, most of the time, it looked like beliefs. I did this Instagram post earlier, and I was talking about having an open palm. And I wish I could remember exactly where I heard this from, but this is one of my favorite analogies when I feel like I'm gripping something too tightly, a situation in my life, something going on, or I'm obsessing or ruminating about something. I think of it as an open palm. Like if your palm is open, the universe has a chance to drop something in there. Like, cool, it's a gift. It's a gift from the universe. But when we love the gift and we like the gift and it's super exciting, we tend to grip it. And then your hand is closed. The universe can't really take that from you and can't really give you anything better for you. So when we grip that and we don't keep an open palm, we kind of block ourselves from our next blessing. And I think that's a common concern, right? Is that when we don't have an open palm, we block ourselves from our next gift. And so I want you to look at that thing in your life that feels like it's taking up a lot of energy, that's taking up a lot of your focus, that's taking a lot of the things that you have on your heart. I want you to look and really ask yourself, like, what is it that's on my mind more often than not? Taking an inventory of your life is so important. Taking an inventory of your day, like, what did I spend most of the day thinking about? Did that help me? Did that hurt me? Was that helping me move forward? Was that helping me move into the person that I want to be? Here's the cool part that I want to like tell you is that releasing, and I remember being in a space in my life where releasing and letting go felt so impossible. Like I just like intellectually wanted to let certain things go or get over them or whatever the case might be. But it was like I couldn't. Like if I would, I could. And I can't. So what's wrong with me? What's wrong with me that I can't let these things go? And so I realized at one point is that it's not about letting go. It's about decreasing the amount of focus and energy on that particular thought and feeling. And that's it. Releasing is not some big thing. It does not have to be this magical occurrence. It doesn't have to be like this acceptance and this declaration. It literally just has to be intentional effort to decrease the things that feel like shit. That's easy. Like we can make that easy, right? We can make that easy if we decide that we're choosing to put our energy in somewhere new and somewhere better. We're choosing to feel better. We're choosing to feel better every day. And that way if we're choosing to feel better every day, we can't have the same thoughts that perpetuate shittiness. Do you know what I mean? Like we can't invest our time and energy into that. So if we identify as somebody who is intentional about their energy, then we know that the releasing really just comes down to moving some. It's kind of like, I keep thinking of those, oh my God, what are they called? Okay, they're like strings and people use them to count days. I know somebody will help me out with this, but it's like you push the bead across and you count the day. Like where are your beads? Are your beads towards the future you or towards the past you? Are your beads moving you towards the life you want and towards the things you want, or is it moving you backwards or holding you in place or anchoring you in place? Because I think that's your choice right now. So releasing, it doesn't have to be mystical, magical experience. It doesn't have to be a big process of letting go. It literally just means that you shift your beads from this side to the other side. That you say, I don't have time for that anymore. That makes me feel bad. And that's the measure of inventory of your life is, does it make me feel good or does it make me feel bad? Abacus. Thank you. Isaiah. Yes, abacus. Okay, so does it make you feel good or does it make you feel bad? That is the inventory of your life. Does the things you're thinking about currently bring you life or suck it away? Does the people you're thinking about currently bring you life or do they suck it away? Do the hobbies, the activities, the things you're involving yourself daily with, do they bring you life or they suck you away? Everything can really be easily measured by, does it make me feel good or does it make me feel bad? And again, if we go back to that frequency idea, we go back to the idea that our frequency when it feels really good means it's high frequency. Feeling good is high frequency. Thinking positive thoughts is high frequency. High frequency attracts the energy of the universe that is high frequency. Think of it as like the penthouse. We talked about this last week. If you're on the level of the penthouse, there's some cool shit up there. If you're on the level of the basement, there's garbage in the basement. So if we take releasing into this simplified notion of, does it make you feel good or bad to think about it? If it does, then we have to find better things. One of the things that I think, when we look at how do we shift out of this, I think the real big key here is to get present. Getting present in your life is so important. It's so important for a plethora of reasons because action steps are nowhere out there, nor in the past, nor in the future. Like you have action steps only in here. If you're going to change your life, you got this. You have this moment. And in this moment, you're probably fine. In this moment, all the things that are plaguing you or bothering you, the situations that exist or the people who disappointed you or the things that were said, they're not here in this present moment. So that's cool, right? So we know in this present moment, we're not under attack, even if we felt like it. We're only under attack if we continue to think about it. So basics. If you catch yourself and you're like all somewhere else, you can come back to the notion of like, what do I see? Okay, well, I've got my blinds, I've got my ring light, I've got my purple water bottle. What do you hear? Okay, I've got the buzzing of my computer. I've got the kids in the next room. I've got whatever. What do you feel? I've got the table brushing up against my leg, the seat on the back of my body. You can totally bring your body into the present moment and alleviate chaos within yourself simply by involving your senses. This is an old psychological hack. This isn't anything crazy or special or new, but it will absolutely bring you out of the chaos and into the present moment. And in this present moment, this is where we level up your life. This is where we say, you're enough. You're enough as you are. You're special. You're awesome. You're fucking incredible. And I'm so excited for you to accept that and take that in and know that about yourself, that because we know that you're awesome as you are, I think that there is a problem in the spiritual community. And tell me if you disagree with this. I think there's a problem in the spiritual community that we have to be broken or shadow zoned, or we have to be working on ourselves, or we have to whatever. I believe that healing does not have to be a process. It has to be like just a shift in awareness. I think it can be that easy. I think it can be as simple as moving your energy into the present moment. I think it can be as simple as honoring the feelings that pass, but also bringing your energy and your power back into the present moment and just saying, okay, this is where I am. This is what I'm feeling. This is what I'm experiencing. What do I want to be experiencing? What do I want to be feeling? Who do I want to be in this moment? Those huge things are powerful. Like I said, I'm a therapist, guys. I have a master's in mental health counseling. I have LMHC in counseling. I'm not just shooting this out, but I found when I was working with people in a counseling setting that the more we focus on the past, the harder it was for them to come out of it. And then when we started to decide, okay, who do you want to be now? We can focus on the past. We can honor and we can respect where we come from. We can learn and understand. We can grow. But our power in this moment is epic. And it can make you better any moment of the day. It can make you feel better, it can shift you. So we're not spiritually bypassing here. We honor the emotion as it comes up. Are you feeling sad? Let's feel sad for a moment. Let's just honor that. Let's just feel into that. Let's not make meaning out of it. Let's not decide the sadness means something about you or what happened or that you're a victim or that you whatever. But let's just feel through it. Let's write down every thought that comes up. Okay, well, I'm feeling sad. It's sitting on my heart. I'm feeling heaviness in my shoulders. I'm feeling not good enough at the moment. Like, part of this work right now, and as we're coming into retrograde, is really just going to be about honoring where you're at, letting it be whatever shows up, honoring what that feeling is, but not feeding it. Because we're going to use our abacus. Thank you, Isaiah. We're going to use our abacus and we're going to shift our focus. Okay, so that's who I've been. Cool. So awesome to know that. I'm so thankful that I know where I've been, and I'm so thankful that I know what kind of person I've been. And now I can look at, who do I want to be? Who do I want to be? This next level is not about what other people said or did. It's not about what you've already done or said. It's not about who you've already been. All of that information is pretty irrelevant, because we can shake this Etch-a-Sketch clean and we can redesign a life for you. You can take the pieces you love. You can take the things that made you you. There are a lot of experiences that have not been favorable to me that have made me who I am. I'm a therapist from some really tough childhood stuff. Like I'm a therapist because I learned mental health very young, and that has taken me to my next level. There are some pieces of you that have been created and crafted, and I think that these hardships are so magical in some ways because they do bring forth personality traits that you wouldn't otherwise have. But how long do we need them for? What happens if we say, tomorrow, this is who I want to be. I want to be a confident, badass girl. I want to be somebody. And if you know me, I was actually thinking, I was talking to my friend from high school the other day, and we were talking about just how like quiet I used to be. I used to just be so afraid to speak up for myself, and that was such a learned thing. But I had to decide I was going to become somebody who spoke up for myself. And so the first part, like we throw back to week 1, is the decision. Is the decision of who do I want to be in this world? And we invite in the decision because the decision is the thought, and the thought becomes the belief, and the belief becomes the energy of which we exist. Our power is in our energy, because our energy draws in and attracts all of the things meant for us. Our energy draws in people, it draws in the situations, it draws in the experiences, it draws in the things, it draws all of it in. So if we're drawing in the right energy based on our energy, and I think manifestation absolutely exists in thoughts, but I also believe that our embodiment of what energy we decide to become precedes that. Like it just It just outworks the manifestation thought, because manifestation and thought, we go back and forth. We deserve it, we don't deserve it, we're not sure, we feel good today, we don't feel good tomorrow. But when we start to embody that, like, yes, I deserve awesome things in my life. Why the fuck not? Why don't you deserve good things? Why don't you deserve awesome things to happen to you? Any story that you've decided that says that you are not worthy is bullshit. That is the one thing we all have in common, is our absolute inherent worthiness. Our inherent worthiness is our power. Because of manifestation, because it feels good to know we're inherently worthy of positive things, no matter what other people have told us in our life, no matter who's hurt us, no matter who's disappointed in us, no matter how we fucked up, no matter what we've done in our life, we still are fucking good enough. As we are, as we stand, in every second of every day is a chance to start over. So your job right now in this next level is to say, what am I ready to let go of? What am I ready to release in my existence? What beliefs are hurting me? And you might need to do the practice of putting your hand over your heart, sitting with a pen and paper, and just asking, what's under the surface of this block? What is this block, and what's under the surface of it? What is the real thing? Because sometimes we don't know, and sometimes we have to write it out. And I was writing earlier, actually, let me see if I can read it. Okay. So I do these automatic writings sometimes in the morning. I'll just invite that in. And I was like, what do the people who I'm talking to tonight need to know? And I have to say, if you've ever done automatic writing, it's really hard to read. So I'm just going to like summarize because I can get pieces and words. So anyway, if you're interested in automatic writing, shoot me a DM. I'm huge on it. I'll walk you through it. But your spirit is not awoken by sight alone. And I think that is such a powerful statement. Your spirit is not awoken by sight alone, which means basically all the things that's in your external circumstances at this very moment, it's not it. It's not just it. There is stuff beyond that. And I think we get very focused on our present circumstances, very caught up in our chaos, and very invested energetically in the things that are already happening to us. But the thing is like, the things you can see aren't it. They're what you've manifested up until this point. And I'll remind you of your power, that this is what you've manifested up until this point. But that just means that this is just a past manifestation. So if the shit in your environment is not working, you have the power to change it, because you're fucking good enough, because you're worthy of it, because you're connected to the divine energy of the universe, of God, of angels, of whatever you believe in. You are connected to that, which means that any moment of any day is a chance to decide who you're going to be going forward. So as you look around and you're like, this isn't what I thought it was going to be. I've been manifesting this, and this is showing up. Let's keep manifesting the things that you desire. Let's not let the lack of seeing the manifestation show up in your experience be the deterrent for you to decide that you're just going to accept what is. We have more things to do in the world than that. We can't just settle on what is because we stopped believing after 2 days of manifesting. We have to continue to believe it. And as we continue to believe it, the universe kind of peels back layers. Somebody described it to me once as like an onion. Okay, so if you've got all these layers of the onion, you've got the outer layers, and as you strengthen that belief, the universe will test you. The universe will ask you, are you sure you believe that? Are you sure this is what you want? Are you sure? And your job is to come back in, check in. Do I believe that? Is that what I want? Okay, so I do believe in that, and that is what I want. I can continue to manifest this for myself. I can continue to move forward. I can continue to trust that even though I don't see it, it can still occur for me. Even though I don't see it, even though it's not even in my wheelhouse of how that would happen, I will invite that in. I know the universe delivers. I know the universe delivers. And if it's, I was talking to a friend earlier, and she's going to visit a house, and she was very excited about this house. And she messaged me. She's like, someone put an offer in. Like, I'm supposed to still go. They're still asking us to see it. They're still asking us to experience it. But like, somebody put an offer in. And I was like, okay, so right now we're going to decide that if this house is meant for you, it's yours. If this house is meant for you, it's yours. If it's not, you'll find a better one. You'll find the right one. Our attachment to things really messes us up. Our attachments to things keeps us from allowing new things into our life. That's that open palm theory I was talking about a little while ago. Is if we keep our palm open, we're able to receive the gift. We're able to receive the gifts. If we're gripping and grasping at the things that no longer belong to us, nothing can enter. Nothing can come towards you. Sarah, I was just thinking what I need to release is doubt and resistance to trusting the universe because I feel like things are not manifesting fast enough. Yeah, actually, Sarah, we talked about that last week of like, why isn't this manifesting? And one of the things that we talked about that I actually want to revisit, so I'm really, really thankful you brought that up, is I want to talk about releasing the resistance to your manifestation, not only by continuing to believe in it after it feels like it's not working, but by having more fun in your life, by doing the things that bring you joy. If we think of joy as the singular most important thing for our vibration, and that at our highest vibration, all the things that are meant for us just come to us, if we think about our vibration as the most important, then we know that having fun is the most important. And we know that investing in that abacus theory, right? If we are investing in the future of who our future selves are going to be, and we're investing our energy there, then we're not backtracking on old stuff that we're just done with. We can move forward. One of the things I talked with one of my clients about today was, she had messaged me and she was like, gosh, I'm like just having a really hard time. I'm really, really lonely. And so we, talked that out of what that is. There's a relationship shifting out of her life. And so, she's like, I don't want to fall back into old patterns. I don't want to be in a space where I'm, in a hard spot. And one of the things I talked about is like, it's up to you to make your life full. And our mistake is that even in like positive, healthy relationships, that we get attached to the comfort of them. And we stop being intentional about making our life meaningful and making our life full on its own. And so I think that when we start to tie our happiness to external things, that's where we get fucked up. When we start to say, okay, if this works out, I'll be happy. If that works out, I'll be happy. If this person comes into my life, if I have a partner, if I don't have a partner, whatever the case might be. If we start to attach ourselves to other things, that's where we get messy, because our truth is that we are powerful on our own. We can include other people, absolutely. That's so much fun. I love being around other people. But part of your job is to really say, okay, I'm feeling lonely. I'm feeling weird. I'm feeling off. What am I going to do to make my life more fun? So one of the things that I brainstormed with this client is like, why don't you go get on Pinterest, there's like a bucket list app, but like, what are some things you've always wanted to do? I want to, learn to make a sick ass apple pie. I actually was just looking into a trip to Utah. I want to climb Angel's Landing. Like, there's all these things that I'm like on fire that light me up to think about, that I've wanted to try, do, incorporate into my existence. And part of that becomes being intentional about including that stuff in your life. And that alone, like, releases all resistance. So you just having fun, you just having a good time, you just being so freaking in love with your life, that's magnetic for all the things you want. It just is. It is a magnet for everything you want and desire. It is a magnet for your best and highest good. I don't chase, I attract. All that's meant for me finds me. That's that vibe. So create a list. She was saying that makes so much sense because, if I think of like she's like, if I want to go to dinner, if I have a list of restaurants to choose from, I'll choose them. If I don't have a list, I'll either just eat cereal or not eat. And I was like, okay, so we know that for your style, you need a list of things to choose from, of things you can do when you're feeling lonely, or things you can do when you're feeling sad, things you can do when you're feeling like you can't shift your energy from what it was. So write it out. If you're somebody who needs that list, write it out. Make your life more fun. Be more intentional about like, what are you not, it's what are you bringing to your own life? What kind of energy are you meeting yourself? Like, if we're talking about like, you're enough, you're worthy, you deserve awesome stuff, you're also going to be the person who shows up and creates that for yourself. You also are going to be and set the standard of the energy you want to bring into your life, whether that's a job or a relationship, whatever that is. You get to set that standard of like, I'm fucking awesome. I am somebody who has a fucking great time in life. I have so much fun all the time. Everything's fun when I'm part of it because I make it that way. Because why not? I don't need anybody else. And then everything else that's drawn to you, because it will be, everything that else is just magnetized to that radiance and adds to it. And that's your power. Like, that is your power, is allowing yourself to bring in cool stuff by becoming the magnet yourself. You are the magnet to all your best and highest good, especially when you're in that higher energy. And like I said, if you feel like you can't stop thinking about something that's really hard and heavy on your heart, focus your energy. How much time and energy am I investing into this? Is the return rate of investment high enough? I'm just thinking business here, but is the return rate of investment worth it for you? Are you getting in that thought process? Are you getting anything out of it? And you might even have to ask yourself that question, because sometimes we do get like an addictive quality to our thoughts, and then we kind of get into an addictive energy with our thoughts and with bad thoughts. And so if you ask yourself that question logically, you might say, well, no, I don't like thinking crappy thoughts. But there's also a part of you that might acknowledge, like, when I think crappy thoughts, I feel kind of linked into them. What is that? This is that what's under the surface question we were talking about earlier. Is like, if you're thinking negative thoughts or crappy thoughts or about a situation that's toxic or about a situation that's hard or about a situation that's stressful, and you keep returning to it, ask yourself if there's like a hit quality of like, is this like a little drug for you? Our brains trauma bonds. I was reading about this today, actually, like trauma bonding. And our brain can form chemical connections to certain things. So when we start to be intentional about, no, this is who I am now. This is what I choose. This is my experience in my life. So we start to break those trauma bonds, whether it's to somebody else or whether it's just to negative thinking. But when we start to pull our energy back to ourselves, that is what breaks a bond of any kind. That's what breaks an energetic cord. That's what breaks a trauma bond, is when we can bring our power and our energy back to ourselves. That is our magic. That is where we really thrive. So your job through this retrograde is, again, we're going to decide it is what it is. It's just a retrograde. It's just helping you clear out stuff that isn't necessary. It's helping you reflect on things that it's ultimately helping take you to your next level. That's all a retrograde is. It's helping you get clear, reflect, and take you to the next level. So I know we can get impatient when things aren't happening, but also there's all this, like, I always think of like a movie. We went and watched one of the Marvel movies the other day with the kids, and the end credits are insane. Like, the amount of people it takes to make a Marvel movie is wild to me. Like, I'm so impressed every time I see the credits, because I'm like, wow, that is a lot of people working together to make a magic film, like to make something happen. And that's the thing, is like, there are a lot of strings working for you behind the scenes of the universe's collaboration with you that you're not even seeing. There's things that actually was, I was on TikTok. I love TikTok, guys. Hate me for it. But I was on TikTok, and there was a story. This girl was saying that her flight got delayed. She ended up on a different flight later in the day, ended up sitting next to this guy. 7 years later, she's married and they have 2 kids. Like, and it was this whole thing. And it's just like, you don't understand the level the universe goes to ensure you're happy. Like, you don't understand the level the universe tries to pull you out of stuff. You don't understand the workings of the manifestations that you're pulling in, even the small ones that you can recognize. Like, you don't understand. There's so much going on behind the scenes. There's so many factors in play. I always think about like 9/11 and people who had flat tires on the way to 9/11. Thank God, like, there's all of these pieces and inner workings that if we take 5 seconds to just honor them and respect them for what they're doing and what they are, like, that's life-changing. That is huge. That is massive. So I just want you to be thinking, like, okay, so it's taken a minute, but also, like, there's a lot that goes into that. I don't need to know how. I don't need to know what. I don't need to know the experience, but there's a lot that does go into a manifestation and into the universe helping me out with that. That's why I'm a co-creator. because we both have parts. We both have parts to play. My part is the only part I can focus on. I don't have to understand how the universe works and how it works or how quick it works or what it works. I trust that it has the right timing. I trust that it knows the right things to do. I trust that it's guiding me to my next right step. But in the meantime, I'm going to work only on my vibration. I'm going to work on my thoughts, and I'm going to have more fun in my life. I'm going to be intentional about bringing the energy of my existence and like making it full. Let's make this easy. Let's make manifestation easy. Let's make healing easy. Like when we start to use that language around the things we're doing, it opens like it just releases obstacles in our way. When we start to say, okay, I'm going to let this be easier. I'm going to heal. I'm going to make connections. I'm going to have more fun than I've ever had. I'm going to live a life that makes me feel like I'm on fucking fire for it. I'm going to do that. And I'm going to trust that the universe knows the next right step for me. And I'm going to listen. I'm going to trust my intuition when it comes to the next right step. I'm going to trust my intuition when it comes to the next right step. What does that next step have to look like? I don't know. I told you I didn't know what I was going to talk about when I came on here, but 30 minutes later, here we are. Like, we're doing okay. Because the energy of the universe will guide you to where you want to go. And that's the like hard part, is you have to trust that if you have an intention in place, that when you open to listen to it, you'll know what to do. And that's part of tuning back in too, of just when we check in with our own energy and we check in and say, hey, how am I doing today? Then we can kind of recognize when we're saying, okay, I need something to be changed. I need something to be shifted. I need something different. So this is perfect. What to do with intrusive thoughts that come through when trying to manifest the best? That's a great question, Bryce. So when you have intrusive thoughts that come through when you're trying to manifest, what I would say is you need to scale down. So if you're trying to manifest something really great for yourself, if you're like, ooh, I want to be like a New York Times bestseller, and you're like, okay, I don't see that for myself. Part of those intrusive thoughts are the voice of rejection of your manifestation. It's not bad. It just tells you where you can go. It's like, I saw Rick's next question that says, how do I manifest large lottery winning? If you don't believe in something for yourself, it's super hard to manifest. So when we manifest, like, let's say I want to make more money in a year, right? So if I scale out to $1 million, if I want to make $1 million by next month, that might seem impossible to me, whatever. So I'll scale down to, okay, do I believe I can do this? Okay, that makes more sense. Can I scale down to this? Do I feel like, oh yeah, I can make an extra 15 grand this month? That's a yes. So we can kind of use our manifestations as a scale of like, what am I willing to believe in? Because when we start to try to override old thoughts that have been there for a long time, our body's going to be like, no, you're so full of shit. We don't believe that. And if you really feel like I'm manifesting this thing and I really don't believe it, I'm really having a hard time, what would you need to be or feel or act like to believe that? So maybe that's just, I just need to even believe that I'm like okay at writing. So you might start with the manifestation of every day I get better and better at writing. Every day I feel more and more confident. Every day I have more and more to say. Every day I feel more connected to my divine good to flow words through me. So you can kind of scale down of like, do I feel like I'm trying to manifest too opposite of where my beliefs have stand? Because remember, a belief is only a thought that you keep thinking. So when you keep thinking the same thought over and over again, it carves a belief. But when we have a nice valley carved, when we have a beautiful space carved in the woods, like a beautiful path carved in the woods, you're not going to machete your way through another path. That's annoying. That's hard. We're going to have to go through that 6 times to be able to really machete our way to create another path. Your brain is the same way. So when you have a perfectly designed path that says you're not good enough, you're not going to have that, then you try to override it with like, yes, I am. I'm powerful. I'm awesome. I've got that. Your brain is going to be like, no, too much, too soon, too much. We know what you can't have, right? So it's only because there's a neural pathway already there that we've been used to walking down. So we just have to carve a new path, but the new path has to be believable. The new path has to be something that is accessible to your brain, right? So I would play with that. If it's not the manifestation itself, that I can scale back a little, and then you can build on it. There are times where like I used to, manifest a certain amount of money per month. and that would feel like a lot, and then I would have to scale back. And I have built that up so much, and it's so evident in my experience in abundance. But you can build on the things that you already believe to be true. So I would encourage you to look at that, look at your belief, and then if you can't really touch that, that's still feeling really intrusive and you're still getting those thoughts that are like, no, again, that's your brain's job. Your brain's job is just to keep the homeostasis of it all. It's just to do the same thing over and over again. So if we can go back to, okay, who do I need to be? Well, I want to be more confident. I want to be like, I'm a magnet to my success. I don't chase, I attract. All the things that are meant for me just simply find me. I don't have to do much with that. Like, if we can come back to more basic statements about who you are, I think manifesting who you are is a power move of the fucking century anyway. Like, if you're going to ask me, what should I manifest, Nichole, I would say manifest your best and highest good and see what shows up. I think that's your power. So I hope that's helpful. And to Rick, again, same thing. How do I manifest a large lottery winning? Yeah, if you believe absolutely to the core of your person, there's no doubt that you can do that, go for it. I'll tell you right now that my grandmother won the lottery. I still don't personally believe I can win the lottery. I would like to believe. I would entertain the possibility, but the depth of my manifestation wouldn't be there. So I would say, like, as much as it's nice to like override our negative thoughts with something grand, grander and amazing and awesome and feel good and high vibe, just double check with yourself. You have to kind of scan yourself for what makes the most sense. And you have to double check too of like, okay, do I actually believe what I'm saying? I'll go back through my manifestations often. I write every morning for my manifestations. I'll go back through and just say, do I actually believe these things? Is there anything blocking my belief? Because if there is a belief blocking my belief, then I'm setting myself up to be disappointed. So as much as I'm like, yes, dream big, but then scale down to what you can believe in, and we'll build from there. I hope that's helpful. All right, my friends, I love you all. I do have my comeback courses live, so make sure if you're wanting that is 7 hours of content. It goes through, and if you guys need help with your energy, I think the comeback course is like the most well put together energetic course I've ever had. So the first is about being an empath, protecting your energy, understanding and disconnecting energetic cords. Also, we've got relationships, forgiveness, reclaiming your future, reclaiming yourself, releasing the past. It's all in that course. So that is officially live, and I'll drop the link below if anybody's interested. The other thing that I realized that not a lot of people know I do is I do speed sessions. So if you're like, I just have something in my heart and I need to like talk it out real quick, or I need advice, or I need, just a little intuition on it. I do speed sessions, and I do them within 48 hours of you booking. So even if I'm booked full, they're usually 10 to 15 minutes through text or DM. And I booked a ton this weekend, and I just really forgot that people probably don't know I do those. So speed sessions are so much fun, so easy, so quick. So if you have something kind of pressing on your heart, message me and we'll figure that out for you. But I love you all. Make sure you're following me on Instagram. That is where I update almost everything. It is NicholeEaton.xo. And make sure you subscribe to the podcast. These are all getting transmuted into the podcast and to YouTube. But like, just yell, if there's something you guys are needing or questions you have. I love answering questions. It gives me life and it makes me happy. So anyway, thank you all for joining. I hope you have a fabulous Monday night, and I hope you continue to level up your September. Bye.